Are you Mr. Contreras?
No, Your Honor.
Are you Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was
Sorry.
like, that's okay. I was like, what? Mr. Contreras, I'm showing you a document entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand what you're charged with by information is possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes,
Court will
ma'am.
find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled a plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a $1,000 fine. The state recommends deferred adjudication. This will run concurrent with 646277. State will take in consideration 2021 CR 1177, NIMAG number 599189, County Court cause numbers 654990, 653934, and there's to be $60 to San Antonio Police Department for laboratory testing.
Okay.
Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 4 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours community service restitution, and no firearm ownership or possession. Do you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged in the information, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea?
Yes, the state offers State's Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Judge.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Thank you. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, I think that he is grateful to the state for their consideration and for, hearing us out on some of the cases. And we just ask that the court follow the plea bargain agreement that we've reached.
All right. Mr. Contreras, who is Renee Escobedo?
My brother-in-law.
All right, and who is Erica Contreras?
My sister.
And who is Josephine Contreras?
My sister.
All right, are you employed?
I am not due to the pandemic at the moment.
When's the last time you had a job?
I have my own catering business.
So when's the last time?
Right before the pandemic.
So how are you supporting yourself?
I'm on unemployment at the moment.
All right, on this probation, I require that everyone get a job. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I understand that you have your catering business or whatever, but
Yes,
you've
ma'am.
got to support yourself. So
Yes, ma'am.
do something to support yourself until your catering business, I guess, goes forward.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
have any children?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
What are their ages?
2 and 1. Well, two and soon to be 1.
All right, is Child Protective Services involved?
No, ma'am.
Where do your children live?
My daughter lives with my first baby mama's grandmother, and
Okay,
my son.
let me stop you right there. Let's not call people's babies
Sorry.
mamas.
Yes.
So let's elevate, right? So let's say the mother of your child.
Yes. The
So
first
maybe-
mother of my child is with her grandmother,
And
and my son is with my second mother of my child.
okay, see, doesn't that sound much more classy? and
Yes, ma'am.
respectful?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
Baby mama sounds like you just with whomever, you don't know who they are. It's just my baby mama. All right. So the fact that one of your children is not with you or the mother tells me that Child Protective Services either was involved or that either the mother of your child or you are not stepping up to the plate. Because I don't know any grandparent who wants to be more than a grandparent. They just want to be a grandparent. They don't want to raise more children because they feel this, they've already raised children. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to require you to step up to the plate. A lot of people don't realize it, but one of the conditions while you're on probation is that you support your dependents.
Yes, ma'am.
Because your children, you can't just have them and send them to a park and say, good luck to you, go forth, eat grass and of the fields and get food however you can. They're 100% dependent upon you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm hoping that you want your children to look up to you and respect you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, that starts by supporting your children financially, supporting them emotionally. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what the other thing, if you're tested today, what are the results going to be? And before you answer, know that I'm going to have you drug tested today.
Yes, ma'am. I'll come out positive for marijuana.
And what else?
That's it.
All right, you're going to get tested today, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is what I'm going to do. 4 years deferred adjudication, $1,000 fine, that will be probated. What that means is you don't have to pay it unless you are unsuccessful on this probation. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Proof of employment within 15 days, parenting classes, 150 hours of community service restitution. And this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm
Yes,
requiring you to complete the parenting classes. If you complete the parenting classes successfully, then you won't have to do the community service restitution hours. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There is going to be no firearm possession or ownership.
Yes, ma'am.
There is going to be regular Zoom reporting to probation. So you can report by Zoom or in person.
Okay.
And I'm going to want field visits at least once a month, but random. There will be a UA today
Yes, ma'am.
by 3 p.m. And Rebecca tests for levels. And make sure the levels are going down. If they're not, we'll figure out what else to do.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Contreras, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful on this probation?
No, ma'am. Thank you very much.
All right, Rebecca, is there anything else you need?
No, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Contreras, I see that everybody in that vehicle is related to you some sort of way. Here's the thing. You're looking at 20 years in prison if you get revoked on this. If there are people who are in your life who are not in good influences on you, you're going to need to cut them loose. You understand? Your whole goal in life right now, it should be not going to prison, right, for 20 years, and for being a good role model for your children.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you. Just wait there patiently. Rebecca, we have. All right. The court is calling 2021 CR 2910W, State of Texas versus Rick Anthony Contreras. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state?
Charles Buck for
For the
Mr.
state.
Contreras.
For the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Charles Buck.
And are you Rick Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Contreras, I'm showing you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Rick Anthony Contreras who's placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2910W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor. But
On March 30th, 2021 for a period of 4 years. Is that you?
yes, ma'am.
State.
On or about the 10th day of May 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Rick Anthony Contreras, did then and there illegally use a controlled substance, namely marijuana, in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State.
State waives the remaining violations.
Any objections?
No.
Mr. Contreras, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, not grant you community supervision, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there an agreement?
Yes, Judge, we're asking this court to deny the motion, continue him on his deferred adjudication, alter and amend his conditions to include weekly reporting and weekly UAs until he can re-enroll in his intensive outpatient treatment program.
Is that the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Contreras, are you asking the court to follow that agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the court will find violation of condition number 2 true. The court will deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include weekly reporting. And Mr. Hernandez, I'm going to want him tested for levels. And you to weekly report and weekly UA until you are back in intensive outpatient treatment with probation. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Contreras, from here on out, you need to ask yourself, is marijuana worth going to prison for 20 years? I would say no, but sometimes people say, well, I want to do what I want to do. If you continue to use marijuana, we're going to have a problem because while you're on deferred adjudication, you're not allowed to use marijuana and you're not allowed to drink alcohol, even at your own home or at family barbecues. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think you want to end up at the prison and people say why you're here. And your answer is because I couldn't stop smoking marijuana.
Yes, ma'am.
So don't come back here. Don't come back here saying it was a vape pen. Don't come back with somebody passed me a cigarette. I didn't know what was in it. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
All right.
Now,
Good luck. Yes.
Did you want, I'm supposed to go take a drug test for you today as well, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're
I
going to
will.
test you for levels. Or is it going to be positive?
Yeah, it's going to be clean.
Okay. All right. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 1. And after that, you are excused.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a great day.
Oh, thank you. You have a great day too.
You have a great rest of your week too.
Hey, I appreciate that. Pretty soon somebody's going to come on and say, have a great rest of your year.
I hope you do, ma'am. I hope you do.
Yes.
John Martinez. Excuse me, the lady, excuse me, you come forward. Yes, come, no, come forward. First of all, why are you in this court in shorts?
I'm sorry, I was just, I don't know, I've never really been in court.
All right, second of all, turn your phone over to the deputy. Do not close it. Deputy Laura, if you'll delete whatever photo she took, please.
This is just.
All right, who are you taking photos of?
Oh, I was just letting my daughter know my son was okay and that he.
No, my question is, who are you taking photos of? All right, so Deputy Laura, if you put her in cuffs, since you want to be next to her son and put her in the box.
I apologize, ma'am. I did
Oh, I
not,
appreciate your apology.
I didn't know.
All right.
Put your phone in picture of that.
And who is Rick in the box?
He's with Charles Monk.
All right. Well, I'm sure Charles Blunt will come back and take care of you, but for now, you're going to be in the box. Hello, where's Nick?
He's coming, Judge,
All right.
and he apologizes for his mother.
Oh, don't you know, we're
Good
all
evening.
adults. I appreciate you apologizing for
Sorry,
your
I
mother.
really do.
Yeah.
She-
But, you know, if she calls you or visits you at the jail, remember to tell her, you know, she can't do that in court. And let me explain to you why. Because we try to run things smoothly. And when people start doing extra in the audience, the deputies are on high alert. They're already on high alert. Then people end up not being able to come back to court. And I know you would like her to be here.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I'm sorry. We just buried my brother, so she's kind of,
Oh, your defense attorney explained it to me. So I talked to the defense attorney and the deputy. She's gonna be released, but sometimes people
Thank you.
need to see how it looks in the back.
yes.
And then they'll say, okay, I'm gonna follow the rules.
Yes, ma'am.
Court is calling 2021 CR 2910W State of Texas versus Rick Anthony Contreras. That party is announced for the record for the state. Defense.
Charles Bunk for Mr. Contreras.
And are you Mr. Contreras?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, defense is asking for bond and by way of oral motion. Any objection to the motion being oral?
Not from the state, no, Your Honor.
All right, the defendant is on deferred adjudication. Legally, he's entitled to a bond. Have you all had a chance to discuss a bond amount?
No, Your Honor.
Do y'all want to discuss a bond amount?
We will represent this. We've agreed, if it satisfies the court, we're in agreement at the bond being set at $10,000.
All right.
That is correct.
All right, the court, the defendant is on bond out of this court, so the court is aware of the defendant's criminal history. The court is aware of the defendant's mental history, which does not exist. And so I'm just putting on the record that the court is aware of his background. So since you've been at the Bexar County Jail, have there been any mental health issues that have arisen?
No, ma'am.
All right, are you on any type of medications?
Not ma'am.
All right. And do you have a place to live if you were released?
Yes, ma'am.
And are there only adults in the household?
My son lives there.
All right, how old is your son?
He's 3. He's gonna be 4 in October.
All right, so your son is there and who else is there?
His mother.
Okay. All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to follow your agreement. Set your bond at $10,000. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors, so you can have contact with your son, but there needs to be an adult there.
Yes, ma'am.
And there is going to be, you're going to have to do UAs. Probation will tell you of a location you can go. Since this is still pending
Yes, ma'am.
and open, the motion to revoke, you're not currently supervised by probation because the motion to revoke is pending. So they'll let you know where you can go to do UAs. It just won't be done under them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to order regular UAs. Is there anything else?
Nothing else, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
May we
Have
have
a great
excused?
day.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And counsel, are you proceeding on the motion to revoke?
Yes, Judge.
All right, and I don't have
I have it in my hand.
all right, court is calling 2021 CR 2910W, State of Texas versus Rick Anthony Contreras. That party is announced for the record for the state
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
defense.
Charles Bunk for Mr.
And-
Contreras.
And are you Rick Anthony Contreras?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the documents entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amended Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same Rick Anthony Contreras who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2021 CR 2910W for the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams on March 30th, 2021 for a period of 4 years? Is that you?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor, violated case number 5 in Bexar County, Texas. Defendant Rick Anthony Contreras within their failure to report to the supervision officer as directed for the months of September, October, November, and December 2023. and then every March and April 2024 in violation of condition number 5.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
I will waive the remaining violated condition.
Any objections to the state's waivers?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation condition number 5, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 5?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find violation of condition number 5 true. Is there a proposed agreement? All right, state, what are you requesting?
Revocation, Your Honor.
Defense, what are you requesting?
We're requesting, Judge, that he be evaluated for the drug court. And then get treatment, hopefully get treatment as required and recommended by the drug court. Mr. Contreras, he did not report as he pled true. His brother got sick in the end of 2022. His brother passed away December of 2023, which led unfortunately to his not reporting. In addition to that, there was an accident that he was involved in and his wife and son were involved in. His wife was in a wheelchair. As a result of that, she just recently has begun to walk again. So he didn't, while he was dealing with his brother's loss, he also was helping his wife, his then wife, now his ex-wife. He's no longer with that young lady. But he was taking care of his son and helping her recover from the accident. The combination of those things placed him in a position where he began to make some bad decisions and perhaps use some substances that led him into the path to where I believe drug court is something that would absolutely help him. He's asked me about it. I've explained to him that it's intensive and, is a difficult trail, but he says, hey, that sounds like something I could really use. So we're asking the court to refer him to the drug court. And then whatever they recommend he do, he's ready to do it. So I think he's an excellent candidate for that. And we'd like you to send him there.
All right, anything your client wishes to say to the court?
Am I correct in what I've said to the court?
Yes, you
You
are.
want to raise your right hand for me?
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Rick Anthony Contreras II.
All right, what drugs are you saying that you've been using?
Marijuana, and I was using methamphetamines.
How often were you using meth?
I was using it every other day.
All right, so I don't understand how you're able to take care of family members, but you're using meth.
I was taking care of my son and everything, but when my brother passed, I just fell into a deep hole. I wasn't using drugs. I was only smoking weed. But when my brother passed, I dove into using meth.
And how old is your son?
My son is 4.
And you're taking a 4-year-old using meth.
No, I was taking care of him and I stopped because his mom just started to be able to walk. She's able to move and stuff. She was in a wheelchair. I was taking care of him the entire duration of probation.
All right, so when did you start using meth while you were taking care of a 4-year-old?
I wasn't taking care of him when I started using it.
All right, so you waited until his mother could start walking, then you went off to start doing meth.
He started using meth after his brother. His wife had already started to walk again before his brother passed. So she was able to resume care of his son. But shortly after that, his brother passed. And at that point, he started using meth, but he was no longer caring for his son because his wife had resumed the ability to walk and care for their son.
All right, so why are you not reporting?
I didn't report because I was taking care of my son. I was in the,
And then his brother passed.
my probation.
Don't report because you're taking care of your son.
No, ma'am. My probation officer had sent me a text message telling me that I had a failure to report. She's putting a warrant out for my arrest. I continued working at the same job. I didn't want to go to jail because I was taking care of my son at the time. I did not want to lose that and put her in a worse position while she was not fully.
So this is what I'm not understanding. I'm trying to
Yes,
get
ma'am.
to the crux of this situation. You're not reporting. You know you're supposed to report. Am I correct in that?
Yes, ma'am.
Why didn't you pick up the phone and call your probation officer and say, the mother of my son has had an accident. She's in a wheelchair. This is what's going on with my life. Can you help me a little bit on the reporting?
Your Honor, I did talk to her. The probation officer that I had was not cooperating with me. My first probation.
So let me stop you there. If that probation officer is not cooperating with you, and I've seen you before, because you've been before me before,
Yes, ma'am.
why didn't you come to court and say, Judge, this is what's going on with my life?
I didn't know I could come to court and do that.
No, don't do that, because I tell everybody they can do that. People get upset with me sometimes when I tell people, talk to your probation officer. And if you feel as though they're not addressing your issue, you can always come back to court. We're here Monday through Friday. I tell everybody that. I tell everybody that when they're placed on probation. And then when they have a motion to revoke from me, I always ask them, is there anything else that we can do to help you that you feel that you need? And then I tell them again, if you feel as though probation is not addressing some issue, you can always come back to the court.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about that. My first probation officer was really helpful, and she helped me a lot through all of my stuff. She would help me with my field visits. If I wasn't able to make it home in time or the field visit stopped, she would send them to my job.
All right. Any questions,
No, Judge.
defense state? All right. Here's the thing. You're not leaving the court today. You're either going to safe P or either you're going to be revoked. That's what's going to happen here today. And the reason why I'm leaning towards you going to safe P is because you have a son. He's young. Maybe you can get your life together, stop using drugs, and be there for him. But you're not leaving the courtroom today. So you have a choice. These are your choices. And there are no other choices that you have. One, I continue you. You're going to safe P. Safe P is a 9-month program.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to be in custody. Number two, I'll revoke you and I'll give you 4 years. Those are your two choices. And if you want to discuss it with your attorney, you can discuss it with your attorney.
Can I discuss it with him as well?
Yes. Oh, he wants to discuss with you. Okay, all right.
Go back to what I take, like,
Are we ready on Contreras? Okay. You ready on Contreras?
Judge, I was hoping, I was asking the probation if there was a way for him to be drug tested. And I'm told there's not.
No, there is not.
With the court, he's on the ankle monitor. Would the court allow him to go take a drug test? So because I think that's, you talked earlier about problems with probation. I've been trying to get him to take a drug test with probation since he's been on bond. Probation has refused to allow him that opportunity.
No.
Because I
He's
mean,
either-
it's unfair to him that he
No.
can't provide proof to the court that he's not on
No,
drugs.
he's either going to say.
Well, no,
Or,
Judge, hold on.
Mhm.
It's unfair to him not to be able to present evidence to the court that he's not on drugs because probation has refused him the possibility to take a drug test.
okay, so you have two choices.
No, Judge,
Safety or 4 years.
no,
That's where
Judge,
we are.
hear me out. It's unfair. This gentleman has an opportunity, has been asking probation
Mhm.
for over a month to come take a drug test, as you told him to. You told us when we were here last time, go to probation and take drug tests. You told us that. We've been emailing his probation officer over and over and over. The court wants us to take drug tests. We've been unable to because they don't
I
ask.
don't want a drug test today,
Judge,
but I mean,
that's
if
not the
y'all want to
point.
give me a drug test, you can, but he's not leaving the court today. That's where we are. And the court is.